Hi everyone, we're going to go over a level 2 problem on solving a system of equations by elimination. So you'll see these types of problems on Delta Math in your assignment. So what would differentiate between a level 1 and a level 2? Well, in a level 2 problem, you're going to have to rewrite one or both of the equations in some way so that you can get a cancellation. A level 1 problem, you could just simply add or subtract the two equations immediately, and one of the variables will cancel. So we're going to have to multiply either the first equation by a constant or the second equation by a constant so that the coefficients are either the same number or exact opposite. So meaning like if this one is, positive 4, we need this one to be negative 4 or 4. All right, so let's see. Is there anything that we can multiply this equation by so that we get a cancellation of x's or y? So we're thinking, can we multiply 4 by a whole number to get 10? And no, we cannot, right? If we multiply 4 by 2, we get 8. If we multiply 4 by 3, we get 12. So you would have to multiply by some fraction in order to get 10. So that's not going to work. Now we think, is there any way to multiply 6 to get 2 by multiplying a whole number? And obviously, no, there isn't, because 2 is smaller than 6, right? So let's look at the second equation. We're going to have to multiply the second equation by something so that we get this cancellation. So again, is there any way to multiply negative 10 by a number so that we get 4 by a whole number? No, we would have to multiply by some fraction. So we're not going to think, how can we make this a 4 or a negative 4? We're going to focus on this one, this y here. Is there a number we can multiply y by to get either 6 or negative 6? Yes. So we can choose to do this in a number of ways. We can multiply the second equation by either 3 or negative 3. So, some teachers will tell you to always add, and you can follow that advice, or you can choose to subtract as well. You can either add or subtract if you want to. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by 3 because multiplying 2 times 3 will give me 6. So this is very important here. You have to multiply whatever you multiply on the left-hand side of the equation, you also have to multiply on the right. You always have to balance the equation. So I'm going to rewrite this first one unchanged because we're not going to multiply by anything. And then I'm going to multiply the second equation by 3 everywhere. So 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. 3 times positive 2 is positive 6. And finally, on the right-hand side, 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So now, if I subtract these two equations, I will get a cancellation. So I'd have to subtract these two. If I add, obviously, I won't get a cancellation because 6 plus 6 is 12. So I have to subtract. So I'm doing here 4, right? 4x minus negative 30x. So remember, two negatives give me a positive, so it'll be 4x plus 30x. You could think of it like that, is 34x. And then 6x minus 6y. There I'm going to get a cancellation, right? So 6x, I could write, 6y minus 6y. 6y minus 6y is 0. And then finally, 10 minus negative 24. Again, right, two negatives give me positive. So 10 plus 24 is 34. So now I'm just going to solve this like any other equation. I'm going to divide by 34 because this reads as 34 times x. The inverse is to divide. And we get x equals 1. Now I'm not quite finished yet. I need to also find y. The solution to a system is always a coordinate pair. So I'm going to plug in x to either one of the original equations. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose the first one because I don't like dealing with negative numbers. So I see two negative numbers here, so I'm going to choose the one with all positive numbers. And I'm just going to input, right, plug in this 1 because x is the same as 1, right? X equals 1. I'm going to plug it in here where I see x. So it'd be 4 times 1 plus 6y equals 10. 4 times 1 is 4. I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides of the equation. And I'm going to continue writing up here because I'm running out of room. So I have 6y equals 6. And finally divide by 6 on both sides. And in this particular problem, y also happens to be 1. And you always express your answer as a coordinate pair, x comma y, right? So x in this case is 1, and y also happens to be 1. All right, let me know if you have any questions about this or any comments, and I could make another video or try to help you in any way in class.